All right, so before we get to Anthony Edwards here, I just got to go ahead and release this statement really quick. The Colorado Buffs with Deion Sanders, they are about to have the best season they've had in school history this upcoming schedule and this upcoming season. Because they got the easiest schedule I've ever seen in my life. This is just unbelievable. And, part of me just really wish that there was some sort of pride within these schools to still play the top dogs of the NCAA. Because I feel like it used to be a thing back then where you see a team who's playing Bama, they're playing Ohio State, LSU, Auburn, Tennessee. They're playing all these big time schools and they're beating them. Then it's like, okay, they're truly the best team in college football. But when you're not playing anybody and you get to be ranked, like you're just trying to be ranked up higher and all of that. I get the whole game you got to play. Like I get the game within the game that you got to play. But it's just like almost pitiful, bro. Like, come on, man. You got North Dakota State. I know it's the opener, but they don't play a team that's ranked under 15 in the AP poll. And to me, if you're claiming to be a top dog, you got to play some top dogs at some point. To me, that's the only way you're going to gain the respect of being an elite school, being an elite program, is if you're beating those elite programs. You can't be saying you're the best of the best in college football, but playing against Nebraska as your top team. Like, come on, man. It's silly. It's silly. You're playing against subpar teams, but you're claiming you're the best. So I just know it's going to come back to hunt them, and it should come back to hunt them because this is not cool. You have nothing to brag about. You've been beating scrubs. You've been beating subpar teams. Now, when you go out there and you beat a Michigan, you beat a Bama, you beat a Tennessee, you beat a Auburn, a Florida State, then talk to me. Then we got something to converse about because other than that, I don't want to hear a single thing about, Colorado, all of that. I'm going to still hype them up. Don't get me wrong. Chill out. Don't get the wrong idea here. I know it's I'm gonna still hype them up. Let's not get it twisted at all. I'm still rep Colorado Buffs like I went there. I'm gonna still be screaming, hey, Buffs, all that. I'm sorry. But I gotta call it like I see it. I'm gonna call it honest. They not playing nobody. So I won't be mad at a single soul who's against Colorado and saying they're really not the shit when they're ranked number 5 or whatever they are this upcoming season. I'm going to be right there agreeing with you that whatever Colorado is in the rankings, come week 7, week 6, I'm going to be right there telling you it's fluke. Because with a schedule like this, I cannot give you the respect of a top dog in this league. I can't do it. Anyway, look, we got some Anthony Edwards stuff because Anthony Edwards had some things to say, man. He was talking about the skill gap in different eras. And, before I even tell you if I agree or disagree, here's a statement. I'm going to go ahead and read it off for you. He said, he was talking to the Wall Street Journal, and he said, they say it was tougher back then than it is now, but I don't think anybody had the skill back then. Michael Jordan was the only one that really had skill. So that's when they saw Kobe Bryant and was like, oh my God. But now everybody has skill. And I got to unpack this a little bit because there's some different layers to it. And the first things first, I'm going to just start with the very beginning of him saying, they say it was tougher back then than it is now, but I don't think anybody had skill back then. Right there, I agree with you, man. I agree with you, Anthony Edwards. A lot of people did not have skill. This is the most skillful era of basketball we've ever seen because now you got centers bringing the ball up court. You got centers shooting a 3 ball like they're a guard. You got centers scoring from the perimeter with ease. I'm sorry for all my people who love the game, follow the game. I'm sorry, bro. Patrick Ewing wasn't pulling up from no tray line. He wasn't scoring on the outside. He wasn't doing it. Sean Kemp wasn't getting buckets from outside, from the perimeter. He wasn't bringing a rock up court, running the offense. It just wasn't happening. Now, you had some select few guys there who did have a lot of skill that's non-comparable. Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon. You got some guys who really had some impeccable skill, but that's why they stood out, because their skill set was so advanced. A hint, Michael Jordan. That's why he stood out like he did, because his skill set was so advanced. But at this point, we see a lot of the moves that Michael did done by average guys in the league, because that's just the way the game goes of evolution in a game of basketball. So you can't even be mad about the skill gap changing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys weren't skilled. You could just be athletic back then, and that was enough. If you could dunk a basketball, run and jump, it looked at you like you were a tremendous basketball player. If you were coordinated, tall, 6'7", oh yeah, this guy's good. Let's get him on the team. He can grab some rebounds. He can pass the ball to Michael Jordan. But now that ain't cutting it, bro. You got to actually have some sort of skill now. If you're in the league, don't matter what position you play, you have to have some sort of skill. So I 1000% agree with this, because guys then, they wasn't like that. There was only a few. And the rest of this, he was saying Michael Jordan was the only one that really had skill. Yes, he was the only one that really had skill. Him and a few others that was in that era, they were the only ones with skill. But you look at any era, and anybody we call great in any era, we say they were so good because their skill set was so far advanced. Jordan, obviously, skill set was advanced way past the point of what people could even imagine, which is why we put him on the pedestal that he's on now. That's why we put Hakeem on the same pedestal when we talk about centers. That's why we talk about Magic Johnson the way we do, Larry Bird the way we do, because those guys were so advanced in their time. It was just unimaginable that anybody could be that good in basketball. But now, 60 years later, it's crazy. Yeah, everybody can dribble a ball now. Everybody can shoot a three, because it's way past that point of what they were doing. We have more experience of playing basketball now than those guys did in that era. So that's what really makes the difference. And then the last part of this, so he said, so that's why when we seen Kobe Bryant, they were like, oh my God. But now everybody has skill. And that concludes my point, man. Everybody in the league has skill. You cannot be in the NBA unless you are a skillful guy. Being 6'9" and athletic just might not cut it anymore like it used to maybe 7 years ago. Now you got to know what you're doing. And I know somebody out here talking about, oh, well, Rudy Gobert's still in the league, so it got to be able to cut it. But hey, that's a different story. That's a different story. You see why we be on his ass like we are, because ain't no reason he should be that tall and unskillful. Everybody done developed some sort of skill. I don't watch Andre Drummond develop some skill. And I used to feel the ways about Drummond because I just believed he didn't have much skill in the game of basketball. But now I see him. He trying. At least he getting better. I can accept that. I can accept improvement. Anyway, look, man, that's all I got for y'all today. I appreciate you. If you've been kicking it with me this whole time, go ahead, shoot us a quick take, 219-413-9405. And of course, we'll play your take back on our next episode. But anyway, look, I'm gonna leave y'all with this positive note here. And this positive note, I actually had something I saw in the middle of the week, and I thought about y'all, but I didn't even get a chance to write it down or nothing. But I'm gonna just say this, man. Continue to evolve until you don't even recognize your past self. I'm gonna just say it that way. All right, that's gonna be the positive note. Just continue to evolve until you don't even recognize your past self. You look at an old picture and be like, damn, I was that fat. Or damn, I was that skinny. Whatever goal is yours, continue to evolve and work at it and work at it. It's gonna happen within due time. All you gotta do is stick with it, stay consistent, and I promise you, we all are gonna get there. Y'all gonna be right there with me. So, hey, that's the word of the positive note. Some of y'all gonna hear this on a Friday. Some of y'all gonna hear this Thursday night. Anyway, hey, I appreciate you for tuning in. Send this to a cousin, a brother, an aunt, an uncle, a niece, a nephew, a coworker, a friend, a twin, a neighbor, anybody you can think of, your aunt, uncle. I promise you they're not gonna care. But until then, man, hey, I'll be back later on next week. You have an amazing weekend. An amazing weekend. Make sure you enjoy it. All right, but look, man, I'll be back later on next week, and so on and so on and so on.